for watching tonight. And always, we're here for you. Good night.
The 2026 Milan Cortina Olympics this winter, brought to you on KUAM TV8 by Bank of Hawaii. Reach your possible. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com. And McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it.
KUAM News Primetime. A new bill could reshape who gets to vote in Guam's long-delayed political status plebiscite, reopening a debate over identity, history, and constitutional rights. I'm Nevaeh Anderson with the story next.
And students made their way around Guam, sharing wishes of luck, joy, and prosperity, marking the beginning of a new Chinese New Year.
And for this Giving Tuesday, a passion project to promote literacy. I'm Mitsuki Hariyama with how a pair of educators are turning laundromats into libraries.
Hafide and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Thanks for ending your day with us. Guam's push for self-determination has reached a legal crossroads. Now a new bill aims to break the stalemate and redefine who gets to decide the island's future. Nevaeh Anderson has the story. For nearly a decade, Guam's political status plebiscite had been tied up in the courts, stalled by a constitutional challenge that left the island at a standstill. At the center of the issue is the Guam Decolonization Registry System, created to allow native inhabitants of Guam to register for a future plebiscite on the island's political status. Under local law, native inhabitants are defined as those who became U.S. citizens under the 1950 Organic Act of Guam and their descendants. Supporters of that framework have argued that those were the people directly impacted by colonization, war, and the imposition of U.S. citizenship. But in 2011, Arnold Davis, a longtime resident who moved to Guam in the 1970s, attempted to register and was denied because he did not meet that definition. He then sued the government of Guam, arguing the restriction violated the 15th Amendment, which prohibits denying the right to vote based on race. In 2019, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the native inhabitant classification functioned as a proxy for race and was therefore unconstitutional.
We have exhausted all of our appeals in the court, and the Supreme Court has denied cert, so they're going to deny hearing this. So that means we have kind of reached a ceiling on how far we can pursue this under the courts.
Senator William Parkinson says the legal reality has forced him to act. His Bill number 242 would remove the ancestry-based voter restriction completely, opening the status vote to all registered voters, in order to bring Guam's law into compliance with the court ruling and allow the plebiscite to move forward. Senator Parkinson adds the road leading to this bill brought him to consider a myriad of proposals. Before introducing the bill, Parkinson held town halls to explore whether a compromise on the date defining native inhabitants could be reached among the community.
And so during the town halls, I floated a number of proposals that had come from the community. Can we compromise and change it to perhaps 1997, when the Office of Decolonization was here? So if you were here in 97 or any of your descendants, or perhaps can we look at another compromise dates, perhaps 1982, because in 1982, that was our last plebiscite. And in that plebiscite, the vote was open to everybody. So we could use that as a previous precedent that we could lean on.
He said they stood firm on the 1950 date.
We cannot compromise on that date because that was the date of the Organic Act when American citizenship was foisted upon the Chamorro people without their consent.
With no legal way to keep the existing language, Parkinson turned to Guam's 1982 plebiscite, which was open to all voters, as a precedent.
I didn't pull this solution out of a hat. I looked into Guam's history and I looked at what we did before that actually worked.
Still, the bill has reignited a broader debate that goes beyond legal technicalities. Who is the self in self-determination? Some argue the decision belongs to the indigenous Chamorro people and the descendants of those present on Guam in 1950 as the historical inheritors of colonization and its consequences. But Parkinson notes that self-determination votes around the world have not once been limited by race.
If you look at every single plebiscite or self-determination vote that has been pursued through the United Nations, not a single one of them has had race-based exclusions.
Questions also remain about residency. Under current law, a person can vote after just 30 days of legal residency, a standard some believe is too short for a decision with generational consequences. Parkinson says he's open to a discussion, but the larger issue is just moving forward.
For 40 years, we've been waiting, and we shouldn't wait any longer. So I want to settle this question because it is the most important and pressing question that has ever faced the people of Guam.
The public hearing for Bill 242 is scheduled for February 18th at 9 a.m. at the Guam Congress Building. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
A measure aimed at strengthening support for Guam families battling cancer is moving forward at the legislature. Supporters say Bill 246-38 would ensure funding for the Guam Cancer Trust Fund is released on time, so no patient is left waiting for critical care. Jonah Gincharfaris has more.
When a Guam family hears the words, "You have cancer," everything changes. Senator Tela Taitagui says beyond the diagnosis comes fear, financial strain, and uncertainty, and families shouldn't have to worry about whether promised support will arrive on time. Bill 246-38 would exempt the Guam Cancer Trust Fund from allotment release controls, ensuring funds approved by lawmakers are assessed on a structured and predictable schedule. Since 2022, more than 6,200 cancer patients have been directly impacted by the fund. But in recent fiscal years, allotments have reportedly been received sporadically or late, disrupting grant cycles and reimbursements for organizations serving patients. Community partners like the Edward M. Calvo Cancer Foundation stress that when patients need screening or treatment, every day matters. Foundation President Jennifer Calvo says these delays disrupt annual grant cycles and ultimately hinder our ability to deliver timely assistance to cancer patients in our community. For patients and families already facing the emotional and financial burden of a cancer diagnosis, any interruption in available resources can have devastating consequences. Dr. Yvette Paulino, chairperson of the Guam Cancer Trust Fund, says timely and consistent funding ensures uninterrupted services for those in treatment.
Currently, the FY 2026 funding supports direct services such as off-island travel for treatment for cancer patients, plus one escort through Azuda Foundation, respite care services through Catholic Social Services, financial assistance for a broad range of needs through the Edward M. Calvo Cancer Foundation, patient navigation services, supplies, and financial assistance through Guam Cancer Care, Circle of Cancer Care and Psycho-Oncology support services for cancer patients and their caregivers through Payless Community Foundation, and cancer risk screening among our most vulnerable populations through Total Guam Foundation.
Remarkably, Paulino adds, for the first time in the Trust Fund's history,
the awarding of over $1.1 million that can be applied to medication and treatment for cancer patients through grant awards to the E.M. Calvo Cancer Foundation of $726,000, the Guam Cancer Care's Financial Assistance Program of $250,000, and the Nicolette Baldovino Community Foundation, Inc. of $150,000.
Former Senator James Espaldon, representing Azuda Foundation's Wings for Life program.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I hope that you all take into consideration what this really truly means to the very many types of cancer patients that we have. It's not just breast cancer, it's not just one kind of cancers. There are so many different kinds of cancers that our people at Guam have, and we don't have the facilities or the expertise to be able to treat it here. So we ask for your support.
Bill 246-38 now heads to the next stage of the legislative process, as lawmakers consider measures aimed at strengthening one of Guam's most critical lifelines for cancer patients and their families. Jonah Gincharfaris, KUAM News.
And in other news, today marks the start of a new year for our Chinese brothers and sisters, and as part of the tradition of their ancestors, students made their way around the island to perform a ceremonial lion dance at various establishments. We caught up with them at the Hilton in Tumon as they honored their heritage and spoke about the significance of the Year of the Horse.
This year we have about 16 students from different schools mostly high school, St. John's mostly, and we have from Harvest and Mount Carmel, and UOG students too. For them, well, our team, you don't have to be Chinese to join this team.
The people are gifting the lettuce to the lion, and the lion chews it up and tosses it back out to the crowd as a way of giving good fortune.
Well, the Year of the Horse, it means like they're very hardworking, and they could persevere through a lot of things.
Happy Chinese New Year!
Well, Guam Police Department spokesperson Norman Analista confirms that missing person 60-year-old Anthony Tontadinko Torres has been located. Torres was last seen on Saturday, February 14th at around 5:30 p.m., prompting Guam Police Department to issue a missing person flyer yesterday afternoon. At approximately 4 a.m. this morning, a caller reported an individual on his property near Santa Ana in Agate. Agate Precinct Command units responded and confirmed the individual was Torres. He sustained minor injuries and was transported by medics to Guam Memorial Hospital for evaluation. His family has been notified. Time for a quick break. You're watching KUAM.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me, count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Anything's possible.
College is possible. Retirement is possible. Adventure is possible. And so is saving for it all with our Bank Ohana Savings Special. Earn an interest rate of 3.15% for the first 90 days when you deposit $25,000 from another bank into a Bank Ohana Bonus Rate Savings Plus account. Requires a Bank Ohana checking account with an opening deposit of $500. So make your savings goals possible.
Anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Welcome back to Primetime. A routine traffic stop in Barrigada led to a major drug arrest after a free air sniff by drug detector dog Draco uncovered more than 6 grams of methamphetamine. According to a magistrate's complaint filed in Superior Court, 44-year-old Carl John Taitingfong was stopped around 2:16 p.m. Sunday after allegedly turning into a parking lot on Route 10 without using a signal. Police say he told the officer he did not have a driver's license and admitted to a prior drug arrest. During the stop, officers observed signs of nervous behavior. A free air sniff by K9 Draco resulted in a positive alert, and a subsequent search of the vehicle turned up a baggie containing 6.14 grams of methamphetamine. Investigators allege Taitingfong later admitted he had been selling the drugs for a friend who owned the car. He reportedly told police he had been instructed to sell an ounce for $3,000 and had about 6 grams remaining at the time of the stop. Tai Ting-Fung has been charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance with intent to deliver as a first-degree felony and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance as a third-degree felony. A 39-year-old woman is facing more serious charges after additional drugs were allegedly discovered concealed in her body during the intake process at the Department of Corrections. According to a magistrate's complaint, Esther Jean Cruz was initially arrested just before midnight Sunday following a traffic stop on Route 28 for a vehicle equipment violation. Officers reported seeing a glass meth pipe in plain view inside the SUV. The pipe later tested positive for meth. Cruz, who was already on pretrial release for a separate third-degree felony drug charge, was taken into custody and transported to the women's facility at DOC. During intake, officers allegedly found a resealable bag containing approximately 0.16 grams of meth concealed in her body. She is now charged with promoting major prison contraband as a second-degree felony and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance as a third-degree felony. Both new charges include a notice of commission of a felony while on felony release. And in other news and in education news, 2 Guam Department of Education Head Start centers are expected to consolidate. During a public hearing Tuesday morning, Acting GDOE Superintendent Dr. Judy Wanpat telling lawmakers 2 Head Start centers will be shutting down. GDOE Public Information Officer Damon Borja later clarifying with KUAM that Finagadzan and MU Lujan elementary schools, both of which have 2 centers, will be downsizing to 1 center each. Borja says the move will remain until Guam DOE can address classroom enrollment and staffing vacancies. Meantime, Wanpat giving insight into what may be contributing to low enrollment numbers.
Overall, with our schools, there's a drop in our enrollment, and there are various reasons, of course, but one of the things, the families are just not having, large families anymore. They're down to, it used to be 8, 12, 6, and now we're down to 2 or 1, or even maybe the most 3.
Wanpat giving this testimony during a hearing on Bill 126-38, a measure aimed at providing safe learning environments for island youth. KUAM will have full coverage on the bill Wednesday night on primetime. Now to the latest progress report roundup of Guam Department of Education schools undergoing refurbishment. In the Cotton region, Ordat Chalampago Elementary School is gaining ground on improvements as restoration efforts are nearly over 88% complete. Among the fixes already completed are exterior door replacements, restroom renovations, and crack and spall repairs. Canopy installation at the home of the Mighty Ants is also in progress. Meantime, the refurbishment of George Washington High School is nearly 94% complete, with canopy installations and electrical upgrades underway. Major renovation components to include door replacements, restroom, and crack and spall repairs are complete. A feat GDOE says, quote, addresses critical safety, sanitation, and structural needs across the campus.
Now for a look at your world at home.
It's always a great day when you head to southern Guam, and here's a beautiful shot of the clouds over the rolling hills in Humatec.
I think it's time for some new shoes.
Hey Kara, how much money is in my account?
This is your remaining balance.
Kara, I forgot my password. Again. Could you help me out?
I've sent you steps to reset your password.
Thanks, Kara.
Honey, quick bank stop before the beach.
Sounds good, hon.
Yeah. Kara, how do I get a loan?
I've provided a link with your loan options.
Thanks, Kara.
Thanks, Kara.
You see this all white meat chicken, breaded in tortilla chips? Here at Taco Bell, we're calling them, wait for it, nuggets. They're nothing like classic nugs, but you're just gonna have to accept them. I mean, we could have called them anything, really, like Derek, No backstory, just Derek. But Nuggets is already baked into everyone's memories, and so is Hidden Valley Ranch, obviously. And we mixed it with Diablo.
Diabolical.
Crispy chicken nuggets from Taco Bell, a brand new classic.
Freedom, that's a cheap thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, cheap things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase. But if it happens, cheap thing. VIP parking, exfoliating, treating gravity like a suggestion, saying, it'll dry. Free-range parenting, forgetting if that's a moose or an elk, all cheap things. Remembering without saying it, couldn't be more of a cheap thing. Sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, an American saving another American's tail. Cheap things. Making a cheap vehicle for only people with cash like him? Not a cheap thing. Or confusing capability with unaffordability? No, not a cheap thing. Making adventure affordable? Now that's a cheap thing. So we're bringing you more cheap things this year, because cheap things should be everyone's thing.
He beat the Evo Japan champ, right?
Yeah.
On that trip, so that was a great win, and he came in 25th in the LCQ. And this year, we didn't know if he'd be able to qualify, and he did, and he faced a lot of adversity, like the type of adversity you only get from being extremely popular or infamous. And, you know, he beat two legendary players, almost made it to the final day on day one.
Heavy hangs the head that wears the crown, as they say.
It is, and I think, you know, he did, you know, he proved it not only to himself, but to, like, our community, that, you know, Guam, even though it's small, like, there's a caliber of player that can play with the best of them. I know sometimes we have, like, that big fish, little pond mentality where, you know, really we think we're strong at something, but it's only because of our community. But in Adrian's case, it's different. Like, the community helped mold him and help, you know, they're not as good as him, right? No one on Guam is at his tier or within 2 tiers of him. But,
and I like Adrian, I appreciate how you said, like, Oceania, and like so many other sports, Guam is now considered part of Oceania. We're no longer like Western Pacific or, you know, South Pacific. We're going up against, you know, Australia, New Zealand. Those are the two, like, you know, big countries and everything, but we're neck and neck with those guys, like, in many, many different sports.
Right.
Yeah, so how do you actually get your game to the level that it is now? Because, you know, any athlete would say, you know, getting reps, putting in work, you know, having, like, you know, being strong-minded and everything like that. But what mechanically and, you know, and mentally has gotten you to this point? And, you know, how do you stay calm?
Oh gosh, that's a difficult question, because I think the nerves will always be there from day one till like now. The nerves are always there, but the way I'm able to stay composed is, like, the more competitions and the more pressure you put yourself in, you'll get used to it eventually. So
it's reps.
It is definitely reps. So a lot of the pro players that I have talked to during this trip, they're asking, like, you know, why don't you move to this country? I'm like, well, because, you know, this is my home, for one, and I want to, yes, I still want to continue to build our community, because we are capable of making world-class players here. And in order for us to do that, we just need to be more active in growing our community, and that's what we're trying to do. Well, also we have the pleasure of and the privilege of being close to these really strong countries like Korea and Japan. So
it's a new year, Guam, so let's start with the reset at Kmart. Make your move and start strong. Gear up with fitness equipment and fresh workout apparel. Fuel with wellness essentials, sugar-free options, protein, vitamins, and more. Organize and clear the clutter with easy storage solutions and cleaning essentials. And refresh your living space with new furniture and decor for your home. New year, new me. Your reset starts at Kmart Guam.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Well, how do you pass time at the laundromat while waiting for your load? And how do you keep your children busy? In this Giving Tuesday, a pair of educators has the solution with their passion project that also promotes literacy and lifelong learning. Mitsuki Hirayama has the story.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, One Love.
Inside the laundry basket in Guam, other than your typical baskets overflowing with clothes, there's a special basket filled to the brim with children's books.
I want to just make this full so I can set some on top.
Okay.
It's a laundromat library, part of a nationwide league operating in 35 states. It's run locally on Guam by husband and wife Jason and Marilee Debus.
A lot of families come to the laundromat, so we figured how else better can we reach them? They're not just being idle and running around and they being bored or sticking to screen time, and so they have an opportunity to read a book, do something different, and hopefully they find something they like and they start reading.
It's a passion project for the couple, who are both lifelong educators, currently assistant principals at McColl and Anderson Elementary.
We've been here nearly 3 years. I would say we're both readers and book lovers, so books are very important to us and our family. We raised our children reading and going to the library. So when we came to Guam and realizing there's just a few library branches,
they saw a need and decided to give back in their own small way. They hope will have a lasting impact.
Mouse has everything he needs to make cookies.
We build readers, right? When a child has a book of their very own, that's a powerful feeling. So the more we can do that, the more it impacts children. And we know on our island we have to take care of each other. And this is just one way we can help take care of our children.
The Laundromat Library currently provides free books for children to promote literacy. As for how it works,
they can leave them and treat it like a library. They can trade out, take it home, bring it back, or they can just keep it. And so we like to just get the books into the home, so we have kids reading.
There are currently 4 participating locations: the Laundry Basket, MTM Laundromat, Manhita Laundry in Jigo, and the Village Wash in Laddie Heights. But the couple hopes to expand the project to southern villages and add an extra box of books for parents.
So if parents are reading, children see that, and that reinforces those good habits and that lifelong learning and literacy. So that's our next project, is to maybe add an additional box. If our participating laundromats are willing, that we can start to collect books that are geared for adults.
If you would like to donate books or start your own laundromat library in your village, just contact Marilee Debus at 671-484-1004. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, One Love. News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas.
Buenas and welcome to News Bites. Now get ready for Fish Fest 2026 happening on Saturday, February 21st at the Chamorro Village near Lighthouse from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Enjoy Talaza throwing, fresh catch for sale, partner displays, and live entertainment. Then the Special Olympics, they're commemorating their 50th anniversary. They're holding a t-shirt fundraiser. To place your order, email Laura at specialolympicsgu.org or Jerry at specialolympicsgu.org. $25 and in limited quantity, so get yours today. And join the University of Guam Charter Month 2K 5K run on March 2nd. Showtime is 5:30 a.m. and the race starts at 6 a.m. Save the date and register at url.uog.edu/charterday5k. And it's Winter Olympics, so you know what? Prime time in Milan. So you can watch KUAM TV8 for the latest action on the slopes. And for all of this, in case you missed it, head on over to KUAM News website or our Instagram at KUAM News.
Happy birthday number 7 to Brisa Santos Wallace. We love you from all of your friends and family in Guam and Hawaii and Chicago and all over. Man, that is a lot of people, a lot of support, a lot of love, Brisa, and we hope on your 7th birthday you are feeling the love, because that's what we do here on the show. And Hawaii, Guam, Chicago, a lot of good food there too. So we hope you have an absolutely amazing birthday. And again, all your friends and family say they love you and they're proud of you. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
And that's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
Thanks for watching Health, Home, and Lifestyle right here on KUAM. Check us out anytime on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KUAM News, for all of our episodes about how you can live a happy and healthy island life. Hafide Guam, I'm Jason Salas here in Dededo for this week's installment of Health, Home, and Lifestyle. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And remember, if you want to see any of our past episodes, you can check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/KUAM News. But don't go there, because we got today's episode and we have information-packed ways about how you can live a healthy, happy, and wonderful island life, because that's what we do here each and every Tuesday. All right, let's get to this week's episode. If the three of us, namely Liz and Gina and Jason, and I'm pointing to all different ones in random order, because the three of us finally get together on Zoom and we talk about real estate, and that's what we do because we want to make sure you have the most information possible, because that is our purpose, and I think we're hitting it out of the park. So Gina and Liz, hafide to you guys, and welcome to another episode of House to Home.
Hafide.
Okay, and of course it would be Gina who scours the Guam legislature's website and finds pretty interesting pieces of legislation that are either in the proposed state, or in this case, Gina, you found something that's actually been passed into public law, right?
No, it wasn't me. It was, this was on, I don't know if it's Facebook and Instagram, which I don't go to often, but when God needs me to see something, it's right there in my face. And so last week...
It's not the algorithm, it's the Almighty.
It's the Almighty. Yeah, his algorithm.
There you go.
Last week, I saw these comments. I saw the signing of Public Law 29-38, which has been signed into law, right? So, and I saw some of the comments about this, and and I was wondering what discrimination has been going on that we're not aware of. Because, when I read this bill, it's primarily, in my mind, targeting Section 8 recipients, right? At least when I was reading it. Yeah, you could apply to anybody. And I think maybe this bill should have been written to not, I guess in my reading, it really does feel like it's targeting Section 8 recipients for the benefit of Section 8 recipients. And I was thinking to myself, my gosh, if there's a class in our community that needs some help, some protection, it would be the working class family of Guam who pay their taxes, and it feels like no one's looking out for their best interest. And there were just some things in here about, basically the intent of the bill, we thought when Liz and I went through it, was that it's to promote the idea that when people call you and they want information on housing, that we cannot discriminate based on their source of income. Are you working for your money and that's how you're going to pay the rent? Are you getting Section 8 subsidy, a voucher? Or are you a military, member who's working for our country, protecting our island, and you happen to have benefits because of that? What is your source of income? And I have to tell you, we ask, do you have a voucher? Because we do have some landlords that don't want to deal with the bureaucracy of Section 8 leases. And so we ask to save the tenants some time and some pain in showing them homes. And then the landlord says, hey, I don't want to deal with that. It's too much work for me to deal with Section 8. I'm not doing it. So why drag them through that process if we know in advance it's not going to work?
So by the landlords opting out, that could be misconstrued, or you're saying it could be actually interpreted as a form of discrimination by just shunning it, right?
Well, but I don't see how, Jace. The task of going through Section 8 as a landlord, it is a process, just like any other government process that we deal with. And a landlord has the prerogative of saying, I don't want to deal with it. It's too much paperwork. I don't want to wait that long. You know, so I don't know. I can't fault them. I don't see that as being discriminatory.
And which is
Well,
Liz, Liz, just something just dawned on me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this policy as drafted or as implemented also mirrors the policy that the Guam Association of Realtors has across all of its members and brokerages and agencies, is to not discriminate on the basis of income or gender.
Exactly. There is the Fair Housing Act, which we follow. And I guess for some reason, they felt that there was a need. Now, I need to say that whenever we get a tenant, we normally will, there's a pre-qualification process. We normally ask for documentation, and then we have them fill out an application. We can't just see in our office, we don't just say, sorry, we don't take a Section 8. The first thing we do is check with the landlord or our database, and now that's being changed as well. We're taking out in our MLS forms in our database, it says, is Section 8 acceptable? Yes, no. So even that has to be taken out to be fair across the board. And then again, we still do the screening process. So if, let's say you've got a voucher and you say, okay, I want to see this, the first thing we're going to do is contact the agent or the landlord and say, we've got a tenant, we want to show the property. Their contractual documentation is a little different. It's not your normal process. And then they do screening. They check, well, how are you as a tenant? Did you trash the last place? So there's a process that we go through. So I think for all the tenants, we don't just do it a different way for Section 8 and a different way for regular tenants. There is the regular process, but the difference is between the two is the contract for Section 8 is different, and they have their own requirements. For example, if you're going to accept a Section 8 tenant, they require you to go into GURA. Let's say you're working 8 to 5. They want you to go into GURA to present the contract, meet with them. So there are different requirements that GURA has for their tenants. So it's it's not like your regular lease agreement and the process. We have regular tenants, we have Section 8 tenants, we have military tenants, we have corporate tenants, so there's different, but in general, the process of screening is the same.
Gina, you brought up the point, you said maybe there are some landlords who don't want to deal with, as you said, maybe the bureaucracy or maybe additional paperwork or, or more I's to dot and T's to cross and everything like that. How much more difficult is that process if you are managing a Section 8 property?
It's not as simple as just renting out your house to a regular tenant who sees the property. They're paying out of pocket. They call you, they tell you what their income is. We show them properties that fit into their price point. And then they select the property. They like it. They'll write up a lease agreement. We present it to the owner. If the owner believes the application fits what they're looking for in terms of eligibility, do they make enough money to pay the rent? Have they been good tenants from their previous references? And then the landlord just says, okay, we get everything done. The tenant will go apply for utilities if that's warranted. And then we move forward. It's done. Under a Section 8 lease and a military lease, I believe the process is similar. There's paperwork involved. There's more, there's additional inspections involved. I find that the Section 8 lease and the military inspection process for me is about the same. I've spoken, but there's a timeline. So on the Section 8 lease, you submit let's say my tenant says, Gina, I want to move in March 1. Okay, well, that is our goal, but I cannot guarantee you if you're using a voucher for Section 8. I cannot guarantee, although the house is ready on March 1, Mr. Tenant, Mrs. Tenant, Miss Tenant, Mr. Tenant, we can't guarantee you that Section 8 will complete your process by March 1. So first we have to make an appointment to submit your paperwork. So you got to make an appointment for that. Well, when's that appointment? Can we go tomorrow? No, it's by appointment. You make the appointment, you get an appointment date, you go in, you submit your offer, your contract, and then they'll review it, and then they'll schedule the inspection. We're not even at contract signing yet. So you haven't signed, you don't have an official contract as the landlord yet. So then you schedule the inspection. And then, so what rent am I going to get? I put down, this amount on my offer. Well, yes, that is what your voucher allows you to put down, but that's not what you may get. The amount that you're going to get is subject to the Section 8 inspector looking at the property and saying, I bless the rent or I don't, and here's my justification. So you may not get this, you may get that. I've had one occurrence where we got a little bit more than what the landlord asked for. Hey, hallelujah. That was great for my owner. But my owner waited a month for that blessing.
The sausage egg biscuit is perfect.
Now it comes with hot honey sauce.
I stand corrected.
We still have to do, landlords have to do the due diligence in terms of background check, how they took care of the property. Do they have their security deposit? Do they have their co-payment? It could be a nightmare for a landlord.
And again, correct me if I'm wrong, is my read correct? And because this is a government program, Section 8, it is guaranteed money, right? Just like a military tenant would be, is that money comes in. So you're not going to have like a local tenant, say like me, where I said, I'm between jobs right now. So can you, Mr. Landlord, can you give me like a week to cover it? Or, sorry, I'm a couple months late on my payment. That money's going to come in, right?
That's correct.
It takes a little bit longer than if a tenant's paying out of their, if a tenant's not subsidized by Section 8, you have to wait for that. But we keep talking about Section 8 because when we read this law, our perception is this was targeted. It was addressing Section 8 tenants.
I mean, it says right off its top, if I may quote from this, Gina, it says, according to the January 2020 GURA, or the January 20, a study, pardon me, in January 2020 prepared by GURA, or the Guam Housing Study and Needs Assessment prepared for GURA, 74.7% of needing housing units are for households below HUD's income eligibility threshold for housing assistance. So 75%, so 3 out of every needed housing units are for low income.
And Jason, this is really the point I wanted to make. If you go down a little bit further on page 2 of the law, it says ensuring
let me bring this up again. Here we go.
Low income families. What Liz just pointed out about the need for housing, I think this is a response to that statement, the need, ensuring housing for low income families. But I want to say to the community out there, the Section 8 vouchers, the recipients of Section 8 vouchers actually can afford to pay more rent than our working class families here on Guam. So I don't know any landlord, unless that Section 8 recipient has really bad references, and no landlord's going to want you no matter how much you're paying. Those Section 8 tenants probably, if I were a landlord and I had to pick between a working class family who more or less, the affordability range there is from 15 to 18 if they're lucky, versus a Section 8 tenant looking at my 3-bedroom who could afford to pay up to $2,100. I don't understand the concept that maybe there's discrimination about source of income because a Section 8 family is getting their payment from a voucher, which is a federal grant. You're going to get it. You may not get it in a timely manner, but you're going to get it. Mm-hmm. What I really think the senators should be focusing on, because yes, I love the intent of the bill, but maybe it's in the wrong place, because it's our working class families right now that need the people down at the legislature to observe and understand. The people here who need help right now our working class families, no one's protecting them.
And we're
No.
back to this central theme that we've been echoing for at least the last 2
Yeah,
years is the
we're-
middle class is kind of dropping out on Guam if it already hasn't.
And we're not addressing the problem, ensuring housing for low income families. Oh no, we need to ensure housing for all families. Everybody needs to get a shot at this. And how do you do that? You do that by figuring out a way to encourage people to build on this island. If we can figure out bills like this, then we can figure out how to do that. We honestly can figure out how to create inventory, because guess what? You have a flood of inventory, prices are going to go down, I guarantee you.
Yep. Basic economics, supply and demand.
Very basic.
Supply and demand, exactly. And the other thing is, we can't deny showing, but just think about it. And we can't, if someone's budget or their voucher states 1,800, but they want to see a 22 or a 2,500 or a $3,000 rental for that matter, the budgets don't match. So we can't show something that's out of their budget. So again, there are things about this law that's rather interesting. We can't deny, but if the budget doesn't fit, what's the point, right?
And we treat everybody that way. That's when I go to a bank and I'm trying to borrow money, they're only going to give me what I qualify for. Guess what? It's the same out here in the real world.
Yeah.
I just had a thought, ladies. It is an election year, obviously, duh, if you check your calendar. Who is the most prominent member of your community, of realtors, surveyors, anybody who's been involved in real estate that wound up becoming a policymaker throughout Guam's history? I know there's been a lot of people who have been landlords and everything like that, but was there anybody who was ever involved in real estate who became a senator?
I know we did have one or two that ran, but didn't make it.
Who was that? Was Michael Mtiako a realtor at one point?
No. I think it was Mo Cotton that ran, right?
That's
Gina?
right. Yeah, Mo Cotton.
Louise.
Louise Titano. She was in the real estate, yeah. So we've had a couple, but
Titano or Munya?
Titano was the last name, but they didn't make it. Anyway, we got.
Remember?
Yeah, she was.
So my whole reasoning for that line of questioning was, because obviously you have opinions and you're not afraid of sharing them and everything. Has there ever been anyone from within your community? Because there are some people who have indicated that they will run, like, our friend Dr. Hoa Wen from American Medical Society says he wants to get directly involved in the formulation of policy, relative to his and other industries. So has there ever been anyone from like the inside of who've gone on to?
We haven't had any from our industry that actually got into, the senatorial position.
Right. Gina, there's still time to pick up a packet at the GEC if you want.
I'd never get elected. I've got a big mouth. And I'd get beaten up at the legislature, that's for sure.
Oh.
I think all we can do is help provide input and work with the senators to introduce bills that will help our community. And I think we, through the Guam Association of Realtors and also Gina and myself personally, I encourage everyone to participate and give feedback, attend the public hearings, review the bills that come in. With the Guam Association, we do have our Government Affairs Committee that they review the bills and they're in touch with the senators regarding the different bills, or they make recommendations if needed to try to fix problems within our community. But I would encourage everyone within the community to participate. Or personally, not just, within our organization. You just have to make a difference in the community.
Okay, sorry, Gina, a final question. Has there been anyone also in the real estate community who is directly sat on the Guam Homeless Coalition? Because I know, right now it's the lieutenant governor has a big voice and is a big part of that. I know in gubernatorial administrations in the past, the first lady tends to get involved with that. Has there ever been any realtors who have been like directly involved?
I don't know.
Yes, do you know? I don't.
Not that I'm aware of. They may be on a personal level. I mean, we're both involved with different organizations, Children's Art, the Chamber, with
It's not that you're not involved. It's just like maybe for those agencies and commissions, like you're not like directly a part of that, but like, that doesn't mean that you guys aren't doing work towards that end. Yeah.
We could all work towards that end if we could figure out a way to get more housing built here.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, one last thought before we go. If Gina does run and gets elected, does that mean that she can't be on our show anymore?
I'm not running, Jason.
She's still gonna be.
I don't have the endurance to do it. I could do real estate, but I cannot. That takes a lot of, I think, time and I just don't have it. I don't think so. I would never run.
Well, you've got until June to indicate that one way or the other. So, maybe I'll hold my breath. I don't know. Senator Gina Campos has a nice ring to it. I don't know.
No, actually, it does not.
Okay. Well, let's end on that note. Ladies, thank you so much. Gina, you got a showing you got to get to. So we'll let you drive safely, please.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye, ladies.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
Half a day, I'm Claire Calvo, bringing you your weekly renewal. Today, I am here with Katerina and Say Camacho here at their facility, Legacy Guam. Half a day.
Half a day.
So the last time I was here, it was a few months ago, and now I see that you've added more to what you already had. It looks great. So let's first start off with what inspired you guys to open Legacy Guam?
So in 2024, both Say and I went through a lot of loss that year. Say actually experienced 2 back-to-back deaths, and that was due to both cardiovascular disease and a stroke and or diabetes, which we all know are some of Guam's top leading diseases, and can in some cases be prevented due to lifestyle changes. So it was just a conversation we had over dinner. And Say was a personal trainer at the time, and he said, I really wish I could help more people. And not thinking about it, I said, oh, why don't we just open up our own gym? And we talked like how we always do over dinner about what kind of facility we would have, what kind of equipment, where it would be, and didn't think anything of it. Then 2 days later, Say comes up to me and he says, so how do we get started? And I told him I wasn't serious. I didn't know you actually really wanted to do this. And I saw that look in his eyes that I've seen many times, and I knew we were gonna have to do it. Mm-hmm. So at the time we had put money aside for our wedding, but unfortunately 2024 was also the year my dad passed away, so we had no intention of getting married that year. So we used our wedding money and we took out a personal loan, and really that's how it started.
Beautiful. This is a commitment. Okay. The wedding, a studio, your own business, definitely a commitment.
Yeah, and that's how it all started. Throughout this process, Say became a construction worker. We got our mats initially through Facebook Marketplace. We got a lot of our equipment just online and from Ross.
I love Ross.
And then we had maybe just like 3 legitimate equipment, and that's how it all started. And eventually we were able to get a grant, and that helped us further develop our facility. But initially it was just us gritting through it and trying to build a business here on Guam.
Well, sometimes, that's how for most people, it's an idea, a dream, persistence, commitment, and then boom.
Yeah.
And okay, so why Legacy? Can you explain why you guys decided on that name, Legacy?
Legacy Guam is actually something that aligns with our values and the type of community we wanted to build. So our motto is actually build your legacy Guam, which is something that is more than just a workout on the board. It is, it goes beyond that. It is consistency, it's purpose, it's grit, it is choosing health that affects your body, your mind, your family, and your community. And so that's how it all happened.
Holistic health, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank
Okay,
you.
now let everyone know what you offer here. What services, what classes, everything you offer.
All right, so the services we offer here at our gym is we do cardio boxing and youth cardio boxing. So that's a combination of basic striking with some functional movements that increase your heart rates. And then we also offer cross training, which is one of our popular classes. It's a combination of functional movement as well with machines that helps like raise your heart rates up as well. And that it seems to be, everyone seems to love that class. So those are the 3 classes we offer. And then also we have a RC pace pusher, which is one of my good friends, which he's considered a brother to me, Ray Chargalov. So shout out to Ray Chargalov. Man, this program is elite and it really makes me nervous. So for me, the more nervous I get, the more I grow. So like if we ain't getting nervous or scared of something, then we ain't growing. So it keeps me out of my comfort zone. So big shout out to him. So, and then our services we offer, if you're just a beginner that wants to learn about fitness or just are on the first step of getting into shape, we have a place for you. Or if you're an elite athlete and you're preparing for a competition or a tournament or a race, our program is proven to help you get in the best shape of your life.
I love it. And I love the fact that it's out, it's outdoors, but you're still protected from the sun, even though I love the sun. But then you're right next to the ocean, getting the negative ions and just, getting all the great benefits of being next to the ocean. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week for part 2 of the series.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care.
Freedom, that's a cheap thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, cheap things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase. But if it happens, cheap thing. VIP parking, exfoliating, treating grab